What is good, Smooth Nation? So a few days ago, I saw dandadan, first episode, and it was the biggest WTF I've seen in quite a while. Now, a lot of people really hyped up this show, saying it's a different type of shonen. You never seen this type of shonen, and you're kind of right because this isn't a shonen at all. Dandadan is about these two kids, one who believes in aliens, the other believes in ghosts. And in order to, they go on this quest to prove each other wrong. And it turns out both of them are real. And they get their organs kidnapped, and now they have to fight demons. They have to fight ghosts and aliens in order to get their reproductive organs back. Like what the heck? Now, this just isn't a shonen at all. People say, oh well, this is a different type of shonen. Battle shonen is about fights. This isn't about fights. This just has fights. That's not the same. Being about fights, Bleach is about fights. Naruto is about fights. Dragon Ball is about fights. Jujutsu Kaisen is about fights. This is not about fights. This has fights. It has fights. That's not the same thing. I looked at the manga. I looked ahead in the manga to see what happens. It's just more nonsense that happens. The story's all over the place, jumping back and forth, and I get what it's supposed to do. This is supposed to be some type of teenage romance comedy, two awkward teens, and they're fighting all these things, which is just an allegory for them being kids and trying to understand the world. Yeah, Bleach did the same thing. Naruto did the same thing, except they did it way more sensible. This show doesn't make any sense. And I saw, like, the defenders of dandadan are trying to say that this redefines shonen. And let's not do that. I like shonen the way that it is. It doesn't need to be redefined, doesn't need to be changed, doesn't need any of that. Dandadan makes no freaking sense at all. Like, the boy loses his man parts, and he has to fight a bunch of monsters to try to get it back. Here's the weird thing. He doesn't freak out about it. Oh, well, he doesn't really care. He's a good kid. He doesn't really care about sex or any of that bull crap. I don't believe it. I don't believe it for a second. I don't believe that for a second. Any normal man, if they got attacked by some ghost old lady possessed, and then their schlong was just disappeared, was gone, they would freak out. They would freak out. And he doesn't do that. I looked in the manga, he doesn't do it either. Like, what? No. You lost relatability to me. That's not a normal function of human. That's not, I don't care if he's a kid. If he's a teenage boy, he should be freaking out even more. I don't believe it. BS. BS. Him being willing to fight these creatures to get it back, I can understand. You should be freaking out. There should be, I expected something like that. Here's the thing. This is supposed to be absurdism. I can handle absurdism. Penny and Stalking with Gilbert was an absurdist shonen. It was a battle shonen with lots of absurdity. That's still a battle shonen. And Kill La Kill was absurdism. But you know what made those shonen is that the characters were fighters. The characters were trained fighters or sort of become fighters, stuff like that. None of these two are fighters. In the first episode, she throws this kick, or I guess, she has training. She don't show nothing else after that. She didn't show no other martial skill beyond that. Is that what makes shonen is that they're about fighters. These people train, do all that stuff. They don't really do that here. They don't really do that in the arcs that I saw. I guess they kind of sort of train in their own way. It's just, what the hell did I just see? This is absurdism done wrong. This thing, I can handle absurdism. It's that you got to go all the way with it. They go halfway. Yet they have absurdist plot points, like the dude's nuts are put into these silver little balls that are scattered about. He has to go find them. Okay, that's an absurdist plot point, but still, the boy doesn't freak out about it. You should freak out about this, and you don't. You don't. Also, the old lady, the Turbo Granny. When I looked up her in the manga, I was expecting lots of jokes about it, especially because she, spoilers, gets turned into this kitty, this kid toy thing, whatever it's called. She gets turned into a toy cat. I expected lots of jokes about her being perverted because for you to kidnap a kid strong, you gotta be super, super perverted. Okay, we're gonna get some jokes regarding her. She doesn't crack any jokes regarding that. She doesn't crack any jokes about her being perverted. She literally went on. She possessed a teenage boy's body, then went around biting off the schlongs of these alien men. That's the type of person she is. So you expect that there's gonna be all kinds of jokes about her just being obsessed with dudes and stuff. Instead, they do in the second arc. In the first arc, when they finally beat Turbo Granny, the spirit of these little girls, the spirit of girls, disappear from her. All the girls who she's kidnapped. Wait a minute, I thought she was going after dudes. She was biting off dudes' schlongs and stuff. She was gobbling schlongs and stuff. I thought she was going after dudes. So I immediately got confused. I guess she just goes after anyone she buys or something. And like when she pops up in the second arc and she gets turned into that cat toy thing, she doesn't make any jokes about perversion, even though she's supposed to be a perverted spirit. She's supposed to be a perverted spirit. Same thing about those aliens. Those aliens stuck to what they were. They were perverts and they stuck to being perverts. But the Turbo Granny, she don't crack no jokes. Shouldn't you be obsessed with dudes? Aren't you supposed to be this perverted entity? That's how you were introduced. But she doesn't. Like what? It makes no sense. If you want to be absurdist, you got to go all the way. They go halfway. They have absurdist plots. But that's it. The characters themselves are not absurdist, just the plot. And that just don't work. That just don't work. What's supposed to be crazy about this is that it's happening to these two. You have an awkward kid like this obsessed with aliens. He should have freaked out. It's shown. If you want to go a comedic angle, because I've seen plenty of shonens with comedy, plenty of shonens that with lots of perverted scenes. Dragon Ball had tons of perverted scenes in it, especially the original Dragon Ball. This just is not a shonen. I don't know. Like, if you like this show, that's fine, but it's not a shonen. It ain't no real shonen to me. And if this is gonna be the future of shonen, like, let me talk about Chainsaw Man, because it all started with Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man made sense. It was about a kid who's been poor his entire life, who has to fight demons just to make it by. He's never had anything. So when he's finally given a stable place to live, when he's finally given something of his life, he doesn't really know what to do. So he's slowly learning to understand his feelings. And he's a teenager, which makes it worse. He's slowly learning to understand his feelings, slowly learning to understand things. That's why he was obsessed with booze in the beginning. Because at first, that's all he knew, was that he wanted booze. And then he realized, okay, what else is there? And he doesn't really know what else. He's confused. This is a confused child who doesn't know anything, who's never had anything, didn't have a proper upbringing. These two don't get that excuse. Dandadan does not get that excuse. These are not two confused kids. They live normal lives. I guess they're losers, but that's not enough. So when they get their freaking organs stolen by aliens, they should just be freaking out like regular people would be freaking out. It's absurdism, not all the way. You have absurdist situations, but not absurdist characters. They're supposed to be the everyman. Both those represent the everyman. Okay, well, you gotta surround, if that's the case, you gotta surround them with a bunch of crazy people, with a bunch of absurdist, wacky people. And I guess some of them some of the kids, because a lot of the other kids we get are just also regular kids. Some of them have their funny quirks, but they're still regular kids. But that's not enough for me. Like that's not really enough. Tell me what you guys think below. Smooth Nation, you are dismissed.